I don't think she will ever perform a full show without Bad Romance ever again. Hello, you are tuned into Starstruck with Big Pink Energy, who is me. Maybe you're here for a chat about pop culture, music news, or gossip, or maybe you're listening because secretly you're in love with me. Let's hope. Today's episode is going to be another Gaga one for a change. We don't often do Gaga episodes over here on Starstruck. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. I'm joined by my friend Owen today because we're going to be chatting and predicting all things Mayhem in terms of tour and the rest of the era, as well as just Gaga herself, what we think she's going to be up to in 2026 and beyond. So let's get into it. Hello, Owen. Thank you for joining me today. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm good. Thanks for having me. I'm so honoured to be with the angel that is you, talking about my favourite thing.
I'm just glad to be in good company. You know, when like you just, it's very Real Housewives. We see each other. We see each other. You know, you're in good company. We're Gaga fans. We're British. LGBT community adjacent. Like, it's good company. It's going to be a good time.
What more could you possibly want? Nothing.
Exactly. Have you got tickets to the Mayhem tour? Is that a stupid question?
Have I got tickets to the Mayhem tour? Yes, I think I would not. I wouldn't be on this earth if I hadn't have got them by now. Like I would be desperately clawing on some kind of website, just make my best effort to get some. So I do have some. I feel like they're not as good as yours, but that's okay.
You know what? I was like, when she announced the tour, I told myself, I was like, I'm going to do every UK date. I'm going to be there. I've got tickets to one UK show.
It was difficult. It was hard.
It was hell, actually. It was hell. It was worse than I was anticipating. And like, I pride myself on being able to buy tickets, but that was a challenge. Like,
Oh, yeah, I truly do not understand. It was actually the hardest time I've ever had getting tickets, ever.
yeah,
And it was
yeah.
probably the most amount of people I had trying to help me too. And like basically no one got them apart from I think I just got lucky. Like I got lucky to just get like four. That was all I could manage.
Yeah, yeah.
Hell.
Crazy. So what did you get? What did you get? Are you like in the like upper section, the middle section, the floor? Where did you manage to get?
I'm on the floor, I think. I love that. I think I just like pressed four. I was like four tickets, but I think we're on the floor because it's all seated, right? Like it's all seated on the floor, which is bizarre
In
to
the UK,
me.
it's seated. Yeah,
I really want to understand, and I've heard a lot of people talking about like because she just announced obviously the Japan dates, and it's in
yeah,
stadiums, and it just and obviously the whole narrative was that Gaga was she made the purposeful choice to do arenas, which love. I love arena. I actually way prefer an arena
yeah,
to a stadium, but then everyone
yeah,
was like, it's quite curious that the Japan ones are stadiums. Sorry, yeah,
yeah.
stadiums, yeah.
I think, you know what? Everyone speculated about this. Let's just talk about it. Let's just Alexandra Burke, elephant in the room. Like, let's just go there. Like, I think clearly the girl wanted to go on tour, left it too late to book the summer stadiums, and had to get arenas and just thought, you know what, let's make it work.
And you know what?
That's
I'm
what I think
completely
happened.
happy with that because, as I say, I love
Yeah.
an arena. I love an arena. Like I think I
Mm,
I loved the Chromatica Ball, but to me, I felt way more distant from her. Like in
yeah.
comparison to how I felt during the Joanne World Tour, like I just felt less connected. And I always feel that way with arenas. Like you just feel so far away. Sorry, stadiums. I keep
Yeah.
saying it the wrong way around. I always feel that way in stadiums. So whether she was late or not, well, it's not her. It would have been Bobby, I imagine. Whoever was late,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah. You know what? I feel like I jinxed it because literally, like, the day before it was announced, I was messaging my friend Tish, and we met at the Born This Way ball in 2012, and then we became best friends. We've been friends since. So, like, Gaga concerts is like our thing. And I messaged her and I said, you know what? I feel bad that we're never going to get back the days of like just having tons of arena shows to go to, like the Art Rave, where she just went everywhere in the UK, did multiple shows, and you could just like follow the tour around and it'd be good. And then suddenly she announces this arena tour, and I'm like, oh my God, I literally manifested this. And then I was so excited. And then I saw the prices and I was like, No, this is not. This isn't really doing it, Gaga.
This,
Actually,
this is not the old days anymore, sweetie. This is
no.
2025 and ticket prices are insane.
Inflation, my love. Okay, okay. A
But
lesson in
those
economics.
but those Gaga ones especially, like again, so hard to get and so expensive. Like again, the
Yeah.
most which fair play because she's got a limited amount of dates and I feel like she is, she's a huge A-list legend. She deserves to put the prices how they are. But I am also sad the fact that for people who can't afford that amount of money, I'm like, it is an insane amount of money for like a ticket.
Yeah.
But
It
nonetheless,
is.
yeah, it's fine.
It is. And you know what? Like, I've been to the O2 many times. Like, it is smaller than a stadium. You're still going to have a better view than a stadium. However, like, the hundreds of pounds to be in the nosebleeds, I just can't wrap my head around it. And I just think, you know what? Something I really wish she would have done this tour. And before anyone gets too sensitive, we are allowed to critique the people we love. It's said with love. However,
Always.
previous tours, she always had a scale of prices, right? So, yes, there would be like VVVIP, and that would be very expensive. I'm thinking back to the art rave where you had Art Pop Zone. They were about £800, those tickets. You got the meet and greet, and don't get me wrong, I know those days are long gone of Gaga doing meet and greets with fans and all of that stuff. I know that's never happening again, but what I'm trying to say is there was that package for the fans who were hardcore, willing to spend the money. You had the early entry, and that was maybe around 200 for the fans again who wanted to spend the money. Then you had general admission for 80, which at the time was maybe somewhat expensive but not too bad. And then you had the cheapest ticket started from I think about £55 for the art rave for like the cheapest seats. And that meant that basically, depending on what you were willing to pay, there was a ticket for your budget most likely. Um, there just isn't that anymore. It's like you're starting at multiple hundreds just to get in the door. You're paying more for people, you've got people sat closer to the stage who have paid less than you because of the way the dynamic pricing is working. I honestly, I got so lucky with the tickets I bought for the O2. I've got 3 seats at the front row of section C2, which is a block away from the stage. So they're floor seats, but they're not at the front. And they were £200 or £300 each. They're a VIP package, so I think we get a merch item, probably going to be a lanyard I'm never going to use or see again in my life. But it's great. It's included in the price.
It's
I'll take it.
something.
It's something. I've paid that price while I've seen people that are 2 rows behind me have paid, I think, £100 or £150 more each for their ticket than what I paid, just because of the way the pre-sales worked. And then I've also seen people have got front row tickets, actual front row tickets, for half of what I've paid because there was such a limited amount of front row tickets available in various pre-sales and the way it's worked out. So it's very unfair the way the ticket worked, at least in the UK sale for this one. And I
Yeah.
do think as much as like we love Gaga, we're excited to see her, we're all grateful that she's even touring. I do think that is something that absolutely is in her control that could have been handled better. But, it's done. We're here now. We're looking
Yeah.
forward to the tour.
Yeah. And it's also hard to know all of the intricacies of these things, like we don't know
Hmm.
what's going on internally. We don't know. Everyone's very speculative about Ticketmaster and who's in control of these things and, where the fees
Yeah.
are going and how expensive things are. And like, I also think until we see the show, you don't necessarily, I'm after watching the recent Coachella performances and Brazil performances she's done, if it's that level, then it's kind of like she's clearly spending a lot on the production of it, and then I can at least be a little bit more, I'm getting my money's worth.
Oh,
But
yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, it's hard to know. But I also feel like £200-300. Hey, I feel like you got a good deal for VIP. That's not bad.
You know what? Oh my God. At the time, I was like, I can't believe I'm paying like more than I paid for like my Chromatica like front row ticket. And then I was like, at the time, I was like, oh my God, do I just do it? Do I just buy these? I feel like I could get a better deal if I keep refreshing. And my friend was like, no, just buy them. So I did. And I was like, that was thank God I did, because otherwise
Yeah.
we wouldn't have any London tickets.
I feel like I've learned with tickets that you just got to do it because you can resell them. Although I say that,
Yeah, it's
I
true.
bought Lord's first night in London. I was like,
Mm.
I just want to go. Like, just as I just said, just get the tickets. Like, you can resell them. Then she announced her second date, and I was like, I'm gonna get some better tickets. I can resell the first day tickets. And then of course she did that Rolling Stone interview, and like it's kind of like
Oh no.
these tickets I am scared are never gonna get bought. So not always the
Okay, if
case, but
anyone's
with
listening,
Gaga.
if anyone's listening who would like to buy Owen's tickets to Lord, get in touch.
I can do a good offer. I can do a good offer.
Oh, it's so typical, isn't it? I won't lie. It's you just can't tell the way it's gonna go these days.
No.
Like Beyonce, I got so lucky. I got like
Your
nosebleed tickets
video
last minute and got like upgraded.
your video was insane. And also, you know what? Talking about Gaga and stadiums and arenas, I do, and I love Beyonce. Like, I had the best time
Mm,
at Cowboy Carter tour. But would I rather
mm.
like Gaga missing out on stadiums and doing arenas, but the arenas being fully sold out and just being like something that's quite lucrative, or would I rather like the
Yeah,
press that has been around the Cowboy Carter tour, which is all about like they're not selling. Like,
yeah.
why did they do so many dates? Beyonce could have given a few of those to Gaga. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's baffling. It is, you know what? I really feel like it was not a smart decision they've gone the way they've gone about the Cowboy Carter tour at all. Like it's baffling to me. They announced those dates when the first ones hadn't even initially sold out. The prices to begin with were crazy. To think that, they would sell out at that price, I think is very misguided. Um, and here we are. Here we are. The tour is still not sold out. So
And that's what I'm saying. You know, like thank God we've got a tour that feels completely sold out. It feels really special.
yeah.
And there's not going to be any
Yeah.
narrative around giving away the tickets, which I'm sad for Beyonce because I
Yeah.
feel like, that's not a nice, I don't want that for her. But also,
No,
this at
it's
least
not. It's being
feels
overshadowed.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah, for sure. No, we yeah, definitely. And I think it's like it's a boost for Gaga that she's, this far into her career, and still has that level of demand, you know.
Yeah, people like literally people will. I've got friends that still want to go and don't have tickets, and I've said to them, I was like, you can get tickets close to. I'm sure, as you discussed in your TikTok, like you will be able to get tickets. People will have plans. They will reschedule things. You will be able to get tickets, but best believe you're gonna have to be refreshing those pages because there's only how many dates are there? I can't even remember. There's only a couple, right?
There's
So
three or
four,
four, I
four.
think.
Yeah.
And then there's like what, two in Manchester or something.
Oh yeah,
I can't
true.
believe I was going to do the whole UK tour. That's so delusional of me. I was like, yeah, I'll do all the Manchester dates, I'll do all the London dates. Wherever she announces, I'll go. I'm just going to be happy to be there. And then I've got tickets to one London date.
Which, yeah, it's fine. You might be able to get some more too. I'm still gonna try and get some more. I think, like, 'cause I'm like with the Chromatica tour. I'm not very good. I have to say, I'm not like the best fan when it comes down to like just going so often. I'm just
Yeah.
like I just can't. It overwhelms me. Um, but with this one, I'm like I wanna because I only went to the Chromatica tour once, but for this one, I'm like I do
Yeah.
want to go multiple times because I just feel like
Yeah.
to me it's like she's gonna do this and then I feel like she's gonna chill. I'm just getting that feeling she's gonna
Yeah.
chill.
Yeah, because she's giving us everything this era. But you know what? Just to come back to what you were saying, I do want to make a point that, like, I think this tour, especially, and I think it's only going to get more and more like this with every fan base in time because of social media and comparison is a thief of joy and all of that. Like, I do just want to make the point if you guys and anyone listening, if you can only go to one show or you do only go to one show for whatever reason, it doesn't mean you are less of a fan. It doesn't mean like your experience or your love for the music or the artist is any different. And I do think like it is getting a little bit out of control. The amount of people I'm seeing doing multiple shows, there's a lot. And like I even catch myself like thinking like, okay, like relax. Like, I got to go to Coachella this year. That's huge. Why am I like looking at how much it would cost me to go to Japan next year? That's crazy.
I think it's hard because it's
And
so
yet I'm still
nice.
tempted.
I think it's fair because like music is something that like, of course, we should all want to spend our money on. And like when we have an artist we love so much and are so passionate about and love their music so much, like I don't think there's anything that brings people more joy than hearing that music in a live form. And I think
Yeah.
that's why it's become so popular, because I feel like people used to spend their money more on holidays away and whatever, but that's also become more expensive. So now it's like you feel like you get an immediate serotonin boost from just that like 1.5 hour, 2 hour show. You know, you don't have to travel too far. Like, you know, you can go back home. Like, you don't have to
Yeah.
pay for a hotel.
Yeah.
So I can see why people like, you know, they fork out the money, but then it does get to a point where you're like, you going 10 times, you could have gone on a holiday to America by this point, or like where are you gonna, or
Yeah.
you could have saved the money to go to Coachella, which maybe would have been a bit more of like a different experience.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I think Coachella totally changed my perspective on the way I want to do shows going forward. Like, the value for money just works out so much better.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I got like a trip to LA, a trip to Palm Springs. I got to stay in a nice hotel. I saw lots of artists over 3 days.
Yeah,
And like I paid more than what I would pay for like one concert, but when you factor in how many artists I got to see, and you know, it's like you get to see like artists like that you are fans of. So I saw obviously I saw Gaga, I saw Charlie XCX, I saw Marina and the Diamonds, Megan the Stallion. Like, I got to see people that I really like. I got to see people that I only know a couple of songs of, like Jennie from Blackpink, and The Sacred Souls was someone I discovered who was really, really good. But like, you get to just kind of do so much, and it's more about just like, I don't know, when I go to a concert now, I'm thinking, and I was even thinking this for Beyonce, I was like, the effort to get me to come out of my house and go to Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Oh, that is a trek. That is a journey. That's an experience I really don't wish on my worst enemy. I'm sorry, babes. It's like that was hell even getting in the door. I'll be honest with you.
and the commute
The
back,
effort it
was your
is.
commute back horrible? Oh
And then
my
to come
god.
home. And then to come home. I won't lie. I left as Blue was on stage doing Deja Vu. I was like, I want to see a couple of seconds of this and then I'm dipping because I just can't face the tube home is going to be chocker. I can't do it.
It was hell, girl.
So
You made the right
luckily,
choice.
yeah, because I remember it from Renaissance. I was in that like crowd during Renaissance because obviously I had standing for that, so I was like there till the very end, and I just remember it being the worst time ever, and I was like, I'm not doing it again.
No.
So what I'm trying to say is, I know this is a really long tangent, but like the effort of going to a concert, one, paying for one show, two, to me, I would rather do a festival where there's maybe a couple of artists that I know. I don't have to know the full lineup. As long as there's like at least two or three, I think that's a much better value for money. It's better effort. And then I get to have an experience that's wider than just seeing Lady Gaga or just seeing Beyonce or whoever it is. I get to see Lady Gaga, a ton of artists I like. I get to hang out with my friends. I get to experience like a really nice weekend and make it a trip or make it something else. To me, that's just where my headspace is in terms of like live music going forward. Now that I've done it, like it's, as I say, it's totally like changed my perspective on the way I want to do shows and like spend money going forward. And I'd much rather put the money towards that than like seeing the same show 10 times. As much as I would, if it was, don't get me wrong, if I was being given the tickets for free to see Gaga 10 times, yes, I will leave my house. But
I will do that trip from Tottenham Hotspur Stadium.
yeah, hell, I will go there every day. It's okay.
Yeah, honestly,
I'll do it.
watching your Coachella, I've always been someone that's like, I don't know why I had this opinion, but I was like, Coachella, like, oh, like, what's the point? Like,
Everyone
don't
has
get it.
that.
Yeah, but watching
Yeah.
your video about it, I was like, oh my god, I do want to go. Although you maybe had the best lineup ever, and I feel like for me it would only be worth it if I was like, bring back Gaga and then we'll talk, okay?
Yeah. Where's our girl?
Or just someone of that level. I just need a big pop diva,
Yeah.
and then I'm down.
You know what? They just sent out the survey that you can take if you went to Coachella this year. They like ask you to fill out a survey of like what you liked, what you didn't like, and you get to put down like artists you want for next year. And I just kept writing in where it was like, well, how can we make this better? Who would you like? I just kept writing like bring more gay artists, because the best time I had at Coachella, actually, outside of those headliners, I went to Trixie Mattel's DJ set,
Amazing.
and it was like, oh my god, I can't even tell you, Owen. It was like gay heaven. It was like, so she was playing, the stage is called like the Do Lab or the Do Lab,
I
and it's
saw
like this
some
outside
videos.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's all outdoor, and they've got these like big sort of like tree things with like fabric blowing in the air. And I swear to God, I was stood in the middle of the crowd, and I looked around, and everyone was high and gay, and I was stood in the middle, and I was like, this is safe. I'm safe here, and this is everything I want. How do I bottle this environment and bring it with me everywhere I go?
I love that. That's great. But
It was
you're so
amazing.
right. I mean, and also I went to Primavera last weekend, and they have like they have
Ooh.
like a thing with it's like, sorry, name drop. I went to Primavera. They have a thing that's like 50% of their lineup has to be women or LGBTQIA plus. I think I could have got that
Oh,
stat
that's
wrong. I
so
think it's right.
cool. I didn't know that.
Yeah. So, and I saw a TikTok that was like, "Can we just take the community of Primavera?" Which, to be honest, I didn't. I don't know if I didn't feel fully like that sense of like everyone was lovely, but I'm glad
Mm,
this person who made this TikTok did feel that way. They were like, "Can I
yeah.
take this crowd and just make it like my life?" And it sounds like Coachella Trixie Mattel set was the same for you, which I love.
It was absolutely that. I was talking to these like this older gay couple who like owned a bar somewhere, and they were like, "This is my friend," and then the friend would be called something like Pixie, or like would have a name like that, and I'd be like, "Yeah, this is great. I'm in safe hands here."
But it's true. Like, I don't understand. There's so many gay artists. Like, I saw Kesha at Mighty Hoopla, and I'm like, where is
We
Kesha?
need to talk about that as well. We need to,
Where's
because I was there
Kesha?
too.
Oh my god! I saw, yeah. I saw after you were there, and I was like, damn it. But where is Kesha on these festival lineups? Like, where's Kesha?
Yes.
Why can I not think of a single gay artist now, or like female?
I'll tell you who I wrote in, because we're gonna have crossover here. So I
Okay.
wrote in for they asked for five headliners and five up and comings that I would like, and Kesha was one of them. I think I put as a headliner. I think I might have put Madonna. I did put Ariana Grande actually. I know she's already done it, but enough time has passed. She could do another Coachella set now, easy. Who else? I think I might have put Lil Nas X, and then I changed it to something else. Who else did I say? Up and coming, I put TK Maidza. I put, who else did I put? I was actually just going through my playlist and just adding people. But I was like, we need more girls. Oh, Addison Rae, I put on there. Marina. Oh no, because she did it last year, so I didn't put Marina. That's a lie.
She's
There
had
was like a
enough.
couple more really good ones. Yeah, she's had enough. Love her new album, by the way.
I
Oh, I
haven't
put
heard
Magdalena
it.
Bay,
Oh yes, yes.
and then Rebecca Black.
Yes, amazing. Yes to all of
Like
these.
this, yeah, it was that vibe. Oh, did I already say Britney Spears?
No, but would love,
Okay,
obviously.
that was my fifth headliner. If Britney Spears makes a comeback, it's got to be at Coachella, and if she does that, I'm there. Like
Uh, it's confirmed.
it's done.
No, it doesn't matter the amount of money it is. You're getting yourself
No,
there.
I'm there. I'm there.
But
Like, and I don't care if she lip syncs.
well, no, yeah,
I don't care if she stands on stage and just twirls. Actually,
with a knife or without a knife.
both. I don't care if she sets fire to the stage with a candle. Like, I am there.
Accurate. Well, you should be. I want you on. I want you up
Yeah.
on that stage too.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, if Britney Spears makes a comeback, I could see her doing that. Like, not now, but like maybe in like 10 years.
Well, was it last year or the year before that Elton John did Glastonbury, and the big rumor was that Britney was gonna like everyone was like Britney is because it was
Oh,
just after they released Hold Me Closer, and this was kind of before everything blew up. Like, well, it had already blown
right.
up, obviously, but like I think it got to an even newer state after that. But everyone was like,
Yeah.
Britney's gonna come out, and she didn't. But I feel like that would have been a moment. Although Britney shouldn't be made to suffer performing Hold Me Closer when she's got so many
Oh,
better
Christ, no.
songs. But still, so
No,
we can only
no,
dream.
absolutely not. No, she could even just stand there and just like dance. Like she could do a DJ set and not even DJ. Like I don't give a fuck. I would just like to see her in person, happy on the stage. That would make my life. That would be like a bucket list thing for me to see her do that.
She has
But
to be back on the stage, like, at some point. Well, I say that with
yeah.
the asterisks of, like, her feeling comfortable to do so, obviously. But
Mm.
when you've done your whole life, I feel like she needs, like, a fine, like, not maybe not even a final, but just, like, at least one more appearance where it's just, like, her, you know, and she just gets to own it and feel like that's her, like, closing the chapter if she wants it to be the closing of the chapter, but in her own terms, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, like what we see that she does enjoy is dance. Like she is still an incredible performer. Like no one can take that away. Like she revolutionized pop girl performances. So, and she's good at it and I think she enjoys it. I think what she didn't enjoy was like decisions not like being made on her behalf and like not having agency. I think like and obviously anyone would feel that way in her position, but anyway, I've brought us on a tangent now.
It's a valid
This
one.
always happens. This I swear to God, the amount of times this happens, I'll be like, I'll do an episode with someone. I'll be like, yeah, we're just gonna talk about this and this. It'll be like half an hour. I'll be recording for 2 hours and we'll be talking about like, just bullshit, and it's brilliant. Let me hurry us back on topic a little bit. So obviously, as we say, Mayhem Tour is kicking off in like just over a month, actually. So we've
Is
not
it
got
a
long
month?
until the first. Yeah, it kicks off in Las Vegas, I think on the 18th of July.
Las Vegas again,
So,
really, girl. We're starting in Las Vegas.
girl loves that city for some reason. I
Fair enough, fair enough. But I can't wait. A month is crazy. Like, here's me being like, where's the music video? Where's the thing? She's busy working. She is
please,
busting her
yeah,
ass trying to get this new show up on the road, which I feel like she will. I can't see her. She's just not someone who I feel like will replicate something in its entirety.
yeah. I think we're getting a new show for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting recycled bits from The Art of Personal Chaos because I think that was just so thorough in its planning, in like the staging, the execution, the order, like the storytelling, all of it was just so well thought through. And it really is like really encapsulates everything Mayhem is about. So I think we're definitely going to see some elements of it reused. Like I wouldn't be surprised if Perfect Celebrity Performance is the same. Or like, do you know what I mean? Like bits of it are the
Yeah,
same.
that is actually one performance that I'm like, to me, when she did Perfect Celebrity, was at that silly YouTube event, and she was like actually on stage, and she was just like feeling the rock. That's one that I would be like, I just want her to be like moving about on stage. But
Yeah,
apart from that, yeah, I would be happy with
yeah.
that. I'd be happy with seeing that show. I've never seen it, so I'd be happy with seeing that show.
Oh, I've got to tell you, it's the best show she's ever done. I'm not just saying that because I was there, but like it really is the best show she's ever done.
I agree. I totally agree. It was amazing. And to be honest, I also feel like it's interesting to me that she never posted any like official photography or clips from the show, apart from obviously the ones that were up on
Yeah.
YouTube. I think, did she maybe do one as part of her like Brazil carousel?
She did a Brazil post for sure, didn't she?
I can't
Because
remember
of
if there was like,
God,
yeah,
yeah.
I can't remember if there was like loads of pics from the show in that or not.
Mm,
I don't know if it's just her twirling in her like Brazil dress. But I really feel
mm,
like it's been professionally recorded for sure. They're going to put it out in a cinema,
mm.
whether that's before. I feel like it wouldn't be before, but I'm imagining maybe they're like, we're going to do these select shows, and then after these shows are done, like cinema cinema recording of the best bits is what I'm imagining, because
Yeah.
it's so intriguing to me that like her best show visually and just everything about it, her best show, and we have seen so little content around it because she's obviously very proud of it.
Mm, yeah. And like, yeah, exactly. Like, so much work has gone into that show. It's not something that was done half-assed. Um, yeah, absolutely, I agree. That would be really interesting. I hadn't thought about the possibility of getting like another kind of professional film because clearly she loved doing the Chromatica one. You could tell she had her fingerprints all over it. Um,
She's
so
Miss
yeah,
Editor. She's like, she sat at that table. I want to see how many tabs were open in Premiere Pro because she was
Yeah.
she was
She
and I
was
love
there
it.
like cut.
But I love it.
Miss
I'm like,
Editor.
it's great. Like I love standing an artist that wants her fingers in all the pies, you know, and like wants to be in control of it all. And I'm okay with things taking a bit longer if she's, you know, really got her finger on the pulse, which I think she does.
Yeah, for sure. Um, let's do some like quick fire things. What wig do you think we're getting?
Oh God, what wig? Oh gosh, even the light fell. It was such a big question because I feel like all the little monsters are like long hair. We want long hair. Like everyone always wants long, like straight hair on her, which I feel like is just the gays just wanting
Yeah.
like a certain form of a woman. Um,
Mm.
but what hair do I want the hair that she had for the Netflix Sudden performance. Wow.
Oh, stunning choice.
Give me, you know what? Gaga doesn't do enough like full drag queen moments. Like
Yeah.
big
Yeah, it's been a
high
while.
hair. I don't care if it's
Yeah.
I don't care if it's short or long. I just want it to be I want it to be tall. It better be up here.
Just on height.
I want height.
Height and width.
Height and width. I'd love a red moment too, to be honest. I know she did it for Joker,
That would be
but
iconic.
yeah. What
Like
about
a
you?
post box red. That would be sick. What do I think? I really think we're gonna get a black and blonde, like maybe not a mix, maybe not like the Born This Way Vegas jazz kind of black and blonde in the same wig, but I think she definitely is like the show is still gonna theme around duality in some way, in my opinion. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're still gonna keep with like black and blonde wig changes throughout the show. Um, it kind of makes sense, I
I love
think.
that. I'm into it. And I actually really want to see the Mayhem album cover wig. Like that shaggy like give me like a
Yes.
shaggy mullet. Is it a mullet? No, no, not a mullet. Like what's it called? A shag cut. Is it called a shag cut?
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Yeah. Also, you said wig. Oh my god, did you just say wig?
Did you just say wig? Yeah, I think that's what we're gonna get because I just think like as I say, I think the show is still going to be themed around duality in some form. So I wouldn't be surprised if we're going to get like wig switches and things. Costumes, I also think we're going to get like similar to the Art of Personal Chaos, like a duality thing with like a dark and a light. I would, this is controversial maybe. I don't love all black on stage costumes. I feel like in the audience, it's actually hard to see the performer when they're dressed in all black on a stage. So I would kind of rather like Lady in Red vibes rather than all black. That would be my only thing if I could change. If I were in control, that's what
I
I would do.
I love that. What did you think of the how bad do you want me blue moment?
I don't hate it. I know some people really don't like it. I don't hate it. I like the shape. I like the silhouette. I actually like the coat more than I like the killer bodysuit. I know the bodysuit is like a panther, which not everybody got the first time. You're not gonna get it the first time. I quite like that little detail. It reminds me of Beyonce had one for Renaissance Tour, didn't she? I think it was Alexander McQueen, and it was like a silver horse bodysuit. It kind of reminded me of that. I actually quite like that, but it's it's almost like you know when you like the concept of something more than the execution of it.
Yeah, yeah, that's
It's a little bit
fair.
like that.
I think I also like I think it's something a bit different from her and that
Mm.
whole look I just feel like I was like, oh, it's shocking to me that I'm like looking at something and thinking we haven't seen you look like this. But it did just feel something just felt
Mm.
different with the wig and the bodysuit. But I enjoyed it. I think it's fun. I think adding like pops of color is always nice. I
Yeah,
agree
jewel
with you.
tone.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think the black constantly. I'd love some like some sparkles. I think like obviously
Yeah.
I'm a gay man.
You know what I would love? Yeah, well, we'd all have some sparkles here. Yeah, you're in a safe place. This podcast is the safe space I was talking about in the Tricks and Mattel DJs.
And my name is Pixie.
I love that. I was gonna say, you know what I would actually love? Because I feel like that segment of Mayhem where you go from like Killer, Zombie Boy, Love Drug, it all feels that kind of like 70s, 80s nostalgia moment. Like that kind of Studio 54 inspired costuming would be really cool for that segment of the show. And actually, similar to that bit in the Joker movie, dare we bring that up? But you know where she's in that orange with like the big flouncy sort of trousers and the blonde. You know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah, yeah.
That aesthetic would be really cool for like that act of the show, I think.
I think that's really clever, and I would love to see some of that 70s aesthetic. Like, I agree
Mm,
with keeping the art of personal chaos and like some of the direct references from the show that we had, but like, yeah, I really loved the part, like the visuals of Killer at Coachella. Like, I just feel like that was really cool, and again, something quite different. And like, I love seeing her feel really
mm.
free like that. I will say, you said Love Drug. I didn't hear a Love Drug performance at Art of Personal Chaos, and I need to hear one for the Mayhem tour.
You know what? I was going to bring us on to that, so I'm so glad you said that. Songs we think are going to be cut and brought in for Mayhem, just from Mayhem. Let's just focus on Mayhem because we could talk about her whole discography for hours, but like Mayhem specifically, we need to hear a Love Drug performance. I will be upset if we don't, to be honest.
I think I genuinely, that song was probably on the bottom five of my ranking when I first heard the album. I was like, meh. I think it's just like that kind of section where there's a few
Hmm.
songs that are a bit tonally similar, and that's fine because I think with
Hmm.
with most albums, I think you get to like third of the way through and you lose a bit of the steam.
Hmm.
Now, oh my god, Love Drug is like in my top three. It's such a, and I
Yeah.
also think her vocals on it, hearing that live, like where she's like, I don't wanna. I'm not gonna butcher the
Yeah.
high note, but I just feel like that's gonna just be so electric. It reminds me of how I felt. I mean, I always loved Enigma, but Enigma at the Chromatica Ball, like I just feel like it's a song that really works live.
Yes.
And I'm okay with her swapping out Killer to give me Love Drug. I'm okay with that.
Oh, that's controversial. I like that though. Spicy. We're getting spicy today. I agree with you. I think Love Drug needs to be performed live. Like it's and you know what? I need it wind in the hair moment. Like big flowy costume. And I need it to look like an 80s music video. I need it to look like, Pete Burns, You Spin Me Right Round. Like I need that aesthetic while she sings Love Drug. That would be everything for me personally. So that's me putting my request in right now.
Give it to me, Rachel.
Send it to me, please.
So good. And why am I like imagining just like, I don't know, some like tiered diamantes, like, oh, I'm just, that's what I want. I want, she doesn't even have to look at the crowd. Just like serve me
No.
face into the performance, like into the
Yeah.
camera.
It could just play on the screen. It could just be an interlude, actually. I just need that visual. Like, imagine the wig she wore during like the Cure mini era where she had like that orange frizzy wig that she wore to like the AMAs. You remember the one? It was like
Yeah, yeah.
really like looked like a perm.
Yes.
That in like a lilac flowy kind of costume in
Yeah.
front of like a gradient backdrop, just in a studio, Vaseline filter on the lens, um, and just yeah, giving like Gem and the Holograms
Yeah.
vibe.
I think
I
that
need
is
it.
absolutely perfect.
Yeah, we need it. The children need it, please.
Do you have any songs that you're like, you want in, you want out?
The beast can go, and I'm sorry, like I get it. I get why it's part of the story. It can go.
See,
but but I would actually replace it with Kill for Love.
yes, yes. I mean, it's where's where's this? You can't perform it. You can't perform it at the Art of Personal Chaos and not give us the song. Give us the song. God damn
Yeah,
it. Where is
yeah,
it?
I know, I know. We need Kill for Love and Can't Stop the High, and I think both of those would be such sick songs live. Um, yeah, I would love to hear those, even if it's just like snippet, like the way she did before. But like they, to me, they feel more mayhem. They tell the story. They keep the energy of the show going more than the Beast does. The Beast is like a slow moment where you're like, okay, I'm gonna go and get some water, and then I'm gonna carry on when she comes back out. Like it's not. It's there's better songs for that like piano and voice moment. Not even piano and voice, but just for like the slower moments in the show, she's got stronger material, in my opinion. And we've already had it. I don't see how she can do the Beast differently, and I'm happy to be proven wrong. But I don't see how she's going to do the Beast differently from what we've already seen in the Art of Personal Chaos. I don't think it will add to the show in the ways that other songs will. So I'm
Yeah.
happy for that to go.
I mean, when you initially said, I'm happy for you to go. When you initially
Yeah,
said,
you
when
can
you,
leave.
the door is there. When you initially said it, I was like, oh no, not this, because I feel like really with the Beast, I was with that performance, I already liked it, but it really like I was like, oh, I felt a new level for the song.
Mm,
But you explaining
mm.
it, I do agree that the main highlight I think with that was the turning 12, like what's the lyric again?
Yeah.
Turning 11:59
TikTok. Yeah.
on the clock.
There's like TikTok.
But that was the
I
best thing about that performance. So I
yeah.
agree with you. I can't really see it being done in like anything in any kind of new interesting way. So
No.
yeah, let's give us one of the other
It
ones.
can't be elevated really. It's kind of served its purpose already, I
Yeah.
think. And as I say, I think there's other songs like Kill for Love that do the same thing in terms of concept, but just in a way that doesn't kind of bring the energy down in the show. Because
Yeah.
I do think the show still needs a moment of that like slower song moment. She's obviously going to have to perform Die with a Smile. Um, so like she's still going to have that kind of like slower moment in the show, but I just don't think The Beast is the one for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And the runtime will be shorter anyway, will it? Will it be shorter?
Probably, yeah, maybe slightly, maybe.
Do you think
I
that
don't
we
know.
do we have to for the locals, do we have to have Die with a Smile and Shallow? Now, I love both songs. I do. But let's just pick one. Like, let's just pick one for now.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
think probably
okay.
she'll pick Die with a Smile. I think Shallow she's definitely done for like these big stadium shows, and that makes sense. For a stadium moment, I actually do think she should be doing more, like pulling more of those in. Like, I think she could do a stadium show and do Always Remember Us This Way. Maybe I wouldn't want it, but like she could even do Million Reasons. Like, she can do those big piano-y songs, and like Star is Born moments and all of that for like that stadium audience. But I agree with you for an arena show that's about mayhem specifically. Let's just do Die with a Smile and sack the rest off, honestly. Let's do something else. Let's do something like a bit more hardcore. Let's do like what could you do? Like Future Love or like something unreleased that only like the crazy ones know. Let's just do like something like that instead. Be
Yeah.
more fun.
I think that with it being an arena show, with it being Mayhem Ball, I think that she will only do one.
Mm, that's yeah. You know what else? I'm also happy for Telephone to stay off, Just Dance to stay off. I would have said, this time last year I would have said I'd be happy for Poker Face to stay off, but actually seeing how she reinvented it for Coachella, that ended up being like one of my favorite songs of the night. So happy for Poker Face to stay as long as it's gonna get like a cunty little revamp in the way that she did for Art of Personal Chaos. Art Pop, I don't see her adding. Joanne, I don't see her adding. Chromatica, I don't see her adding. But if I could pick, I would have Replay on that set list every day. I could
And
actually go to a Gaga show where she just performs Replay over and over again for an hour.
it's the replay tour, just replaying replay. That is
Rewind!
that is the art of personal chaos. Stuck in a room,
Yeah, yeah.
replay.
And I would love every minute of it, and I'm not even joking.
Is it controversial to say that I think that with again it being the Mayhem Ball, I think that the energy, the show is going to be full of energy. I think that we can chop Bad Romance. I just think that like let's leave it for the locals. I honestly think I love the song, but her fans have seen it so many times.
Yeah.
I don't think we need, and I do think that we can use some of that time to just actually like just really give Mayhem the album the space that it deserves. But then I think it's
Mm.
hard because as you have to remember, I guess I have to remember that like some people might be watching Gaga for the first time and they deserve to hear how epic that song is. But I just
Yeah.
sometimes think when you're touring that album, like, just give me that album, like, and then save the other things for festivals or bigger stadium shows.
Yeah. I totally see where you're coming from. However, I don't think she will ever perform a full show without Bad Romance ever again, because
Yeah,
she's
true.
basically just said in Art of Personal Chaos, she's like basically said that like that song is like our song. She called it the eternal aria of the monster heart and said monsters never die, and basically dedicated that song to kind of our connection with her. So even though those of us who've been around a long time have seen it several times, I think she's keeping that one. And I think that's what the messaging of it was in the Art of Personal Chaos, that she does battle herself and she does go through all of these things, but ultimately at the end of it, um that connection she has with us is what's kept her going, and that's why
Yeah.
monsters don't die. We're
And
still
here I
here, Bad
here I
Romance.
am trying to kill us off by taking off Bad
Yeah,
Romance.
so actually, Owen.
But I do, to be fair, again, you explaining it, Bad Romance, I feel like
It's not that serious. It's not that serious, don't you worry. But I do think I really do think that's what she was trying to say. But that's
yeah.
only because I've sat and thought about that set list more than the average person should.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, but I do also feel like Bad Romance, you're right. Oh my God. Whenever I say something controversial, this like just slips. It's like, stop talking,
I'm like
Owen.
mind controlling it.
I'm trying to get good lighting here. Bad Romance, I feel like you're right, does encapsulate. If there was a song to go on to Mayhem that wasn't on like from the previous album, Bad Romance would make sense because it's like that is
Yeah.
that encapsulation of the mayhem of the light and the dark, and you can be in this
Mm,
like really loving but also really toxic romantic entanglement with yourself and with the person you're in the relationship with, and with your fans and with fame, and that is true mayhem. So I get why she said
hmm
that, and I will vow to say that Bad Romance should forever be played.
See, guys, bullying works, peer pressure works. That's what you take away from today's episode. I'm sorry.
No, it's fair. It's so fair.
Last bit on Mayhem Tour predictions specifically. There's rumors, there's rumblings that there's going to be a couple more Asia dates and Latin America as well. Do we have any further predictions on extra dates for the Mayhem Tour that we want to air now? Speak now or forever hold our peace.
I feel like like, no, like I feel like she will do she will do a few extra, I'm sure, but I'm also okay with her not making it a super long drawn out thing. I think just
hmm
like I would rather her give the shows to the best of her abilities, give us everything we want, and not exhaust herself. And that's always my fear, is that like I think just
hmm
like enjoy it. And also like I love obviously tours, and when they come around, I really love them. But I would rather there be some more time put into more music videos. And I know they're not a profitable business
hmm
anymore, but like spend the time on
hmm
music videos and singles. And yeah, I think like give us what we've got is great. I don't know. Is there anywhere specific that's been missed off? There is Australia dates in there? I'm such a bad fan.
Yeah, she's doing. Yeah, she is doing Australia. I had to think as well. Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I think there's more Latin America. She obviously didn't go to because she only did Mexico and Brazil. And then I think Asia is rumored to have Seoul in South Korea, which I don't think she's been there since the Born This Way ball. And Hong Kong is rumored as well. So
Yeah. I mean, there's more countries in the world I know, but I feel like is there any that you feel like are specifically missed off that you think needs addressing?
I think definitely Seoul
Yeah.
because, as I say, like, and I'd actually say like I don't know, yeah, like Argentina,
Mm.
probably maybe Chile.
Yeah.
Um, I'm trying to think where she actually went in the Born This Way ball and the Monster ball that she hasn't been back to since.
Yeah.
Um, Definitely some of those Asian countries as well. Like, was it Taiwan or Vietnam that gave that, like, when she was there during the Born This Way ball, they actually did like a national holiday and called it Lady Gaga Day.
That's
There was one of
cute.
those
I think it was
countries. It was
Taiwan,
very
but
cute.
yeah. I
Yeah.
felt because I saw a
So,
lot of people were like rightfully so quite unhappy that for Singapore like that was kind of the chosen country that she was going to be
mhm,
doing that our personal chaos because
mhm.
obviously Asia is huge and like it shouldn't just be one country that has to like bid to get her.
Yeah.
So I think that's totally right because she's got so many fans there and I think this album is very like international and yeah, I think
Yeah.
they deserve that.
One thing I'll say for this album, and this kind of segues into our kind of 2026 and beyond Gaga predictions, I really do think with this era, she's trying to give everyone a piece of her as much as she can. And we say at every era, oh, because this is going to be the last one she has before she settled down and have kids and all of that. But it really does feel like it this time because I think, like, whether it's been, you know, getting to go to a show, seeing her at a festival, getting signed art cards, whatever it is, I think, or like getting reposted by her on TikTok, like she's really trying to like immerse herself with the fans this era in a way we haven't seen in a really long time. I'd say maybe even since like the art pop era, she hasn't been this kind of connected with the fans or like actively trying to engage with us. And I think it's probably because like we're anticipating as soon as this is wrapped up, she might just take a step back and focus on herself for a bit, as she should. She deserves it. But I think the tour is part of that, and I think going to countries that she hasn't been to in so long is definitely part of that strategy of just trying to like connect and reach out and see as many people as possible and give everybody that has been following her for all this time, or whether they're a new fan or whatever, just giving them some like their own personal mayhem experience and not just kind of like something that you can watch along at home if you're not in the US or the UK, or like a main city somewhere.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, I
so I
think
think that's the vibe.
yeah, I feel like you've hit the nail on the head there because I mean Gaga said multiple times that, when she decides to settle down, she's always going to be a creative at heart. She's always going to keep working. Like it's not going to be like, oh, I'm just throwing in the towel and like see you in 10 years. I don't imagine that from her, but there's a difference between that and also kind of servicing your fans to the extent of doing world tours and doing big festivals or whatever, like one thing she can create while she's chilling, that's fine, and like that's well within her right too, but also I think the level of what like energy you have to put your body through to go on these big tours, like it's just not possible whilst also like wanting to chill and like wanting to, whether it's settling down or just having some time for herself. And we've seen artists like Miley who, like, rightfully so, she doesn't want to tour anymore, but it's a huge effort for artists, and I think it's like, why I think it's very undervalued that it is actually like this huge momentous thing to go and do a huge tour, and so we should just like soak
Yeah.
that in and be happy with it, because I think back what it used to be with the Born This Way or whatever, like that probably just wasn't a very sustainable, I mean we saw it just wasn't a very sustainable, healthy way to live, and I think
Yeah.
artists used to feel like they had to do that, and now there's a bit more of like a, I'll do that for when I can, like I'm not going to do that forever.
Yeah, and I'm even seeing like it's interesting you bring up Miley, because I think actually it was Miley that said she looked at Sabrina Carpenter's schedule and was like, that girl's gonna burn out. Like, I think artists are being more vocal now about like what boundaries are and what's normal and what's actually not normal, because they feel like they have more agency now, which is great. Another elephant in the room that Miss Alexandra Burke is inspiring me to talk about. Let's just say it. Gaga wants to have kids. Um, and this conversation always feels like a really tricky one to talk about because it just doesn't really feel like our place to speculate. But then again, when she has commented on it publicly, obviously she's comfortable with people knowing to an extent, because otherwise she just wouldn't talk about it. But I have this crazy feeling, and I don't want this to cause people to start acting crazy, but I really have a sense that she's already got a surrogate in the works as she's touring.
Why
That's
is it
that's
just
my
like a sixth sense?
No, I don't have a sixth sense, and actually, most of my predictions end up being wrong, so wouldn't listen to me. But I tell you why. She's wanted to be a mother for a long time. Um, she clearly wants, like, if it's gonna happen, it needs to happen soon, right? However, with her health, she's finally had like the best health she's had in a long time. Pregnancy does crazy things to a woman's body, like unimaginable things to a woman's body. Your organs are literally shifting around when you have a baby. Like it's I sorry if it's not obvious, this is something that just blows my mind about the female body is pregnancy. And I'm
No, for
terrified of
sure.
it if that's not obvious as well. But I could really see, with everything Gaga's been through with her health, being advised to not try and get pregnant and have a baby the traditional way. But clearly, she still wants a family. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's something. And then maybe that is why we're getting, instead of waiting for 2026 to do a big stadium tour in Europe, she's trying to get Europe out of the way this year, wrap the tour up by like Q1, Q2 next year, so she can then focus on that when the baby's here. That's just a. I know it's crazy for me to even speculate on that. It's just a thought I had, and now I can't get it out of my mind.
I
So
think
I'm
that,
just sharing
yeah,
here.
no, I think that does make sense. And like, I feel like as long, you're talking about it in a respectful way, so I think that's okay. Like, I think
Mm,
that it's clearly something that she wants to do, and I think it's I always feel like it's unfortunate that like these things do have to be planned around your work and your job
mm-hmm,
and your life, but like that is
mm-hmm.
just realistic to like
Yeah.
everyone and every woman who goes through pregnancy, like, or any family
Mm-hmm.
that goes through pregnancy or having children. And so with that, like even more so with the type of job that she does, she's gonna have to plan it quite rigorously. And so I feel
Yeah.
like you're right. I can't see if that's still something she wants, which as we've seen in interviews it is, then I can't see her wanting to wait much longer. Like she seems so happy and
Mm-hmm.
comfortable, and I think she's well within her right to, yeah, do that in whichever way she feels comfortable.
Yeah. And if I'm wrong and the tour is all being kind of like compacted and it's not because there's a baby in a baby in the works, I was about to say, oh my God.
I did the butcher, I did
Baby
the
work in
baker.
progress. Um, if it's not because there's a baby like in the plans, I don't know what the best way to word that is. Then if it's not a baby, then I think it's because it's a wedding. Maybe a summer wedding next year is on the cards.
Mm.
But again,
I
this
also
all
feel
feels
like
like, you know,
Gaga's the kind of person that like they would have just got married. I just feel like she's got married already.
that also wouldn't surprise me at all. Yeah,
I just feel
I
like she's
agree.
not someone that just seems like she would like faff about. And I feel like again, I don't know the intricacies of her previous relationships, but I feel like um I watched 5'2" quite recently, and I feel like I just got that sense of like impatience with her relationship and
Mm,
like being engaged and just feeling like it's just not like. I think she's someone who just feels like she would fall and she would just be like, "What's the rush? Like, why are we waiting? What's the rush? What's the like?" I think children is different because that is something that feels like it has to. There just has to be more of a planning around that, but with marriage, I'm just like, I don't know. She just looks so in love. Like, why would you not just
yeah.
do like, let's just do it tomorrow? Like, what we wait? I don't get when you're so in love and you've had lots of relationships and you've been together for a long time and you've got that support. Like, why would you just not? And this is also,
Mm,
I mean, I'm saying this at my age. Like, I've been in my relationship for 5 years. I do not want to be engaged to. But like, I do think it's different when you're at a certain age. Maybe I feel like that's
yeah.
maybe just a thing.
Mm, yeah. I agree with you. I wouldn't be surprised if they've had a secret wedding.
Mm.
She didn't, we found out about the engagement because of like an eavesdropping video.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I think there's things that she's happy to share with us and there's things that clearly she wants to keep private, as is in her right. So, I could see that too. But I do just get the sense there is a reason why tour is happening this year and not next summer in stadiums. But
I think that's a fair analysis. And all I can
yeah,
say is let's make her mother monster, you know, like, let's make it
Yeah,
happen.
come to mama. Last thing I had on my little list that would be good to talk about, if it's not, a baby or a wedding or whatever next, for Gaga, and even if it is, when she returns back to kind of career mode, what are our thoughts on what the next project is? Is it more music? Is it a movie? Is it writing a musical and trying to get a Tony and getting the EGOT? What do we think is on the cards for Miss Gaga?
Ooh, what do I think is on the cards? I think with Wednesday, I think
Hmm.
she's not done on her acting journey, and I think she
Yeah.
knows that she feels like she's. I wouldn't say Gaga would ever be someone who would feel like she's been like robbed. I think she's always feels like she's like
Hmm.
very happy and proud, and with the way that Joker landed, like I think she was okay with just making light of it and just being. And I think as an entertainer, she knows that she puts things out there and things land and things don't. But I think it's
Hmm.
clear that she loves it. Like I think it's
Hmm.
clear that she loves to kind of fall into these roles. And even with Joker, considering so little press that everybody else did, she was still willing to like put her limb out on that movie and like make it work. So I think that
Yeah.
more acting for sure. I think that I feel like she won't ever stop making music, but I do think that like Mayhem to me, I feel like is an era that I'm hoping will be quite long, with the tour and like going into next
Yeah.
year. I think she's still going to be creating things around that album for a little while, and probably the reason we don't have the deluxe yet is they're just trying to spread it out so it just like lasts even longer.
Yeah.
But I
Do you
can't.
think there's a deluxe Mayhem coming?
I feel like it would be crazy to have performed Kill for Love and not release it. Like, I just think
Ooh.
that seems wild to me. Like, why would you tease a song in such a mass audience way and not release it? I feel like there's so much still to have got, like, still to like pull out of the standard album that I wouldn't
Yeah.
want more than like, give me two or three. I've been seeing people like rumoring like five, six to like or like a Mayhem Monster. I don't want a full second album. Just give me a couple. Just give me a couple with then it doesn't even have to be a music video tied to those songs. I think it just like is another way of extending the era a bit longer. Um,
Hmm.
because there's so much I still want to get from the standard version of the album.
Yeah. I think I wouldn't be surprised if we do get some kind of like tour film, whether like you say it could be Art of Personal Chaos or it could be on like the actual Mayhem Ball tour. I definitely think there's going to be like an extension of the era in that way, that there is something like left still to come for us. I, my gut doesn't tell me it's another music video, but I am wrong about these things. But
Why
I,
why
I
do you
just
think no new music video?
I just think she's so into like the performance phase of the era now, and it's not unheard of for her to like film music videos while she's on tour, but I just really feel like that's where the focus has been. I feel like the beginning of the era, like I think she shot Disease and Abracadabra quite early, banked those for when they were ready to be released, and once that was done it was focusing on live performance at SNL, and then once that was done it was Coachella, and then now that's done it's tour. Like I think I really just that's my gut on like how that's going. um I don't know if she has, I don't know if she, maybe she does have interest in doing another music video. I mean, she knows obviously that we would eat up whatever she gives us. um but I feel like, as I say, where this era is so much about like giving fans their own individual like Mayhem experience, I feel like she's probably prioritizing that over another music video. But if it was another music video, it's got to be Garden of Eden for me. That would be the best one to give a video, I think.
Yeah, I think you make a good point. I think unfortunately, music videos don't have the reach that they used
Yeah.
to, and they don't affect
Hmm.
people, sadly to say, because I love a music video, like as
Me
much
too.
as they used to. And like it used to be a way of servicing fans was, give them a 20-minute movie, but actually people have tried that and it people don't watch and people don't connect. And I think Gaga's biggest thing, as I've already said, is like just being an entertainer and like reaching people through entertaining them, and I feel like, as you say, touring is a way to make that make sense. But there's just so many songs on this album that feel like they do need a visual, and I know it's easy to say that for every album that comes out, but with Chromatica, I feel like the album's music spoke more for itself, and I feel like I enjoyed the visuals we got, but I don't think they really like developed the songs too much. I feel like maybe apart from 911, like they just kind of they looked as I heard them, but with songs like Garden of Eden, you know, and Vanish Into You, and even How Bad Do You Want Me, I just feel like there's like just something extra from the story I want to get from it, because it feels like there's a lot of like metaphor and symbolism in the lyrics, and I want to be able to see what she meant by that and why she said it.
Yeah, you're totally right. That is my favorite thing about Gaga music videos, actually, is that 9 times out of 10 they look nothing like you think they would. And Rain on Me probably did look exactly like we thought it would.
Yeah, it was a dance choreo
Much
moment.
as I love it. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, that's a really good point, actually. I do think I would love to see what she would do with all of the songs on Mayhem, because I think, the storytelling would just be out of this world. Even The Beast, as I've said, is not my favorite, but I just know that she would do something cool with it. So it would be really fun to see.
Yeah, I mean, and also as we've seen artists that fans are literally begging for videos from, like Beyonce, like, you know, it's just not happening. And I feel like, as you said about touring, like touring's become the video, like, you know, that's the way of connecting to people, and that's the way of seeing visuals, and everyone sticks up their phones and records the whole thing, you know, so like it's free marketing for the artist, and it's also a way of visually showing what the song means. So I get that, but god damn it, I get it, but god damn it.
Yeah, right. No, I totally agree with you. One last question before we wrap up, because we've been yapping away, and it is very late for a school night for us people in the UK right now. I did something fun to end with. Obviously, when I was doing the countdown to LG7 podcast, I did ask everyone like what song they were claiming. We now have the album, so something else I thought we would do, seeing as we were both at Mighty Hoopla, if you could have had any artist at Hoopla bring out Gaga for like a surprise duet on that set list, who would you pick? I already know what your answer is.
Does it begin with a K?
It might begin with a K.
I think that like Kesha's Blow is just a song that I will forever be obsessed with. I think it's hilarious and iconic. And I think Gaga would just eat up just jumping around on that stage and just giving me everything. It's probably the artist that would make most sense to put her next to. I'm trying to think of who else I loved at Hoopla.
I'll give you mine. So mine is also Kesha, but if it wasn't Kesha, it would be obviously Angel of My Dreams with Jade would be excellent.
Oh gosh, it would be excellent. And I feel like the way that Jade reimagined Frozen by Madonna, like I just think that they would have such a visual, But it's interesting with Gaga, because some people I'm like, I don't know if I can see, because she's so full of like personality and like energy. I'm like, some people I'm just like putting them together, I just feel like I got this too much. It's almost much of a muchness, you know. But someone with like Kesha, I feel like they would just like rock out, which I would be obsessed with.
Yeah, I would love Gaga on like, I'm obsessed with Boy Crazy at the minute.
I was gonna say Boy Crazy.
Epic. And I was so glad she performed that. Like when everyone started like leaving, I was like, no guys, I've got a sense for this. We're not done yet.
Yeah, people did leave, and she still had like 4
"Thank God."
songs left.
She did that. She did Joyride and she did Die Young, and I was like, thank God, because I love all of those. So yeah, that was amazing. I would love Gaga on like Backstabber as like a middle finger to you know who. I think that would be excellent if both of them did that. And then also Your Love Is My Drug is just like, you know, so of its time and that era, and I think that would be really fun.
Yeah,
Gaga on that, or TikTok.
Oh, yes. It's funny to me that I can't see, like, back in the day you could see Gaga, like, jumping on someone's... She never really did it much, but, like, jumping on someone's song. But, like, now I'm just, like, I could just never see her, like, featuring Lady Gaga, like imagine the power that holds.
Yeah. Yeah. Because even like her song with Bruno is like, it's both of them. It's not like someone featuring someone.
She was like, I'm not going to be your feature.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah. That would really be epic if she did something with Kesha. I would love to see it.
So good. I would be obsessed with that.
Honestly, the gays would go crazy. Right. Well, we've been nattering away. It's been a cracking episode, I think, but all good things must come to an end, I'm afraid.
It's true, it's true. And I will never say that
It's
Bad
true.
Romance can't be on the set ever again.
Yeah, fix your mouth before you come and speak to me about Bad Romance next time, Owen.
See, thing is, I just have a habit of like saying, like my boyfriend will always tell me off for this, to be like, you're just saying word salad. Like, I'm not, like, sometimes I'm just like, yeah, this is my opinion. And then I'm suddenly like,
No,
that's not my opinion, I don't mean
listen.
it.
No, listen, I actually think you're totally justified because Bad Romance is one of those songs we've heard to death, like Telephone, like Just Dance, like Love Game, and until she reinvented it, like Poker Face. So, it's not a bad thing. It's just a note for Gaga. Give us something fresh. That's all. We
I
would
think
like to see it.
I'm just so obsessed with this album still to this day. I think it's her best that I just am like, just give me every song. I'll be okay if we minus the beast, as you say, but apart from that, give me every song. I want to hear them.
Yeah. Even Don't Call Tonight, I would like to hear live.
Grown on me a lot. Grown on me a lot.
Yeah. I feel like that song would actually be better live than as a studio version, but I'd still rather hear Love Drug. Like, let's be real, Love Drug is the superior.
That's the
So,
one.
yeah. Anyways, Owen, thanks so much for joining me today. And if you're listening, let me know in the comments. I know I get people asking if they can guest on the podcast and things all the time. And I do want to have as many guests coming in and things like that. I just need the right opportunity. I feel like these kinds of episodes where we're like just kind of shooting the shit and talking about predictions and generally talking is where it works best for me to have a guest. So, just let me know in the comments what you guys want to see. I feel like this podcast is at a point where it could go anywhere. So some guidance and feedback would be lovely. And I do read your comments. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you, Owen, for being here. You've been a delight. It's been lovely to chat to
Oh,
you.
thank you so much for
Um,
having me. I've had the best time, and you're an angel, and just yeah,
oh,
it's just lovely to chat and just be silly.
yeah, it's a joy. It really is a joy. Can you, if you're doing anything gay in London ever, just text me because I'll probably be there. And we can finally link up.
Arguably, I'm doing something gay every day in London, but yes.
I'm actually doing, you know what? I've got my friends just bought us tickets for Trixie. She's doing a DJ set
I saw.
next month.
I would come. I would come. Maybe. Yeah. I'll look to see
Okay.
if they're still available.
Yeah, if you're there, let me know and we can link up.
Yeah. Of course.
That's like off the top of my head next gay thing I'm doing in London, but
Yeah. Okay. Will be more.
other than just being. Anyways, thank you so much for tuning in, guys. Best wishes, mwah, 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 and kisses, and I'll see you next time. Bye
Goodbye.
bye bye bye.